Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we're going to be tackling the newest musical release from who other than himself, Kanye West. This album is called Yay. Let's get into it. Chicago rapper, producer, fashion designer, among many other things, Kanye really needs no intro at this point. He has put out some of the most influential and most memorable musical projects to date in the 21st century, and he definitely has won me over as a fan. Going into this record, I was very much intrigued to see what Kanye had. He did have a very odd and eccentric way of hyping up the album. He put out a couple of teaser tracks that thankfully aren't on this record. They're entitled Lift Yourself and Yay versus the People. Neither one of them really had stuck with many fans, and for good reason. I don't really recommend checking those out. Now, the first thing that you'll notice with this album is that it is very quick and easy to get through. It is only 7 tracks long with about a runtime of 24 minutes, and it isn't going to really take up a lot of your time if you want to check this out. Recently with rap music, I am a big fan of these shorter EP format style albums. Most recently with Daytona by Pusha T, I just feel like this is a great progression for rap music instead of those over an hour and 10-minute long odysseys of these rap albums that are just not very concise or not very efficient with what the artist is trying to say. And I feel like Kanye himself has even fell victim to that. His most recent project, The Life of Pablo, was at times very bloated and just full of drab and very monotonous topics of lyrics, and didn't really go anywhere that made it too interesting from start to finish. On top of being concise, Ye is very much a snapshot of what Kanye West's life looks like at this very moment. Yes, people have criticized Kanye for his very sporadic, spontaneous, and at times very uninformed way of presenting his opinions in the media, but for this album, I feel like that kind of approach is necessary. Heck, even the album cover for this project just shows how Kanye is very erratic and unpredictable, but at least this time around, he drops the album when he says he is going to release it. Heading into the musical material of this album, Kanye on the first song, I Thought About Killing You, is very much pondering what it's like to kill himself, and he's opening up in a way that's very vulnerable and personal, and through the song we get a couple beat changes, and throughout it we can see that Kanye is very versatile in the way that he approaches his monologue versus a little harder style rapping, and then by the end he's just going all out and just very bombastic with his approach. Although at times the lyrics do stay very superficial, Kanye is being still personal, and with his recent financial issues, he does have some great lines on here, like saying when he was broke, he ain't break. He's saying that like he has this resiliency to always come back and like be in the spotlight, and just regardless of his money, he can still make great songs and he can still pursue anything he wants to pursue. Look at his clothing line. Like, to me, those shirts just look like the most uncreative things you could actually make, but he's still making millions of dollars off these things, and he's taking the risk to come out with these different kind of shirts and shoes. But yeah, the intro track is very much a great listen. It is very captivating, and it builds off these nice crisp textures as they change throughout the song, but Kanye's energy level does match the production all the way throughout. Lastly, I'd like to point out the very nice production choice of changing Kanye's pitch. For these vocals, it's just a very fascinating way to portray these different kinds of people that Kanye in his mind is trying to show, and very much delve into the different kind of mindsets of them. The second song on this project, Yikes, is very much it feels like a song that could have been on The Life of Pablo. It gives me vibes of the song like Facts or Famous. It does have a very aggressive beat and instrumental along with it. The song here is talking about drugs, be it amphetamines, prescription medication, or hallucinogens. Kanye is very much warning his audience and himself to stay away from these, and he's even referencing Michael Jackson and Prince to tell him that he shouldn't be doing these. This song also delves deeper into Kanye's bipolar disorder. It is something that appears to be something that Kanye has been diagnosed with, but instead of viewing it as something that is a limitation for his daily life, he chooses to see it as something that makes him feel like he's a superhero. And although at times Kanye does get carried away with his grandiose and very self-indulged, egotistical way of promoting himself being a superhero, I feel like this is a great way of viewing bipolar disorder. And sometimes when medicine makes it seem like it's something that isn't manageable, Kanye is shedding some positive light on that. The next song, All Mine, opens with very soft organ music that gives it that church atmosphere, when ironically the topic of the song is focusing on infidelity. Kanye is challenging the idea here about money and fame, how it might actually be the reason why people stay in a relationship or marriage. And for this song, even though I may or may not actually get on board with what he's saying, I do feel like this is a great song that does have great instrumentals along the way. The next song, Wouldn't Leave, features a very beautiful piano-led beat, and it has Kanye being very personal and open to his wife, Kim Kardashian, and giving her the choice to leave in his marriage. With Kanye always being caught up with his ego and classifying himself as a free thinker, this track really lends itself to being very awe-inspiring and very majestic with its approach to the message. We get bars on this song that feature Kanye saying that he's like George Jetson, but it comes off more like George Jefferson, which is a way that he's trying to show that he's being futuristic with his ideas, but people aren't understanding them. This also adds to the line that Kanye mentions earlier about slavery being a choice. This absolutely blew up in the mainstream media over the last few weeks. And like, this is Kanye's response to that. So despite Kanye's very abbreviated and compact response to the mainstream media's backlash, I feel like Wouldn't Leave is a decent song that is having Kanye ask his fans the same way that he's asking his wife to stay through better for worse. And even then, like, he's asking his wife, like, he's giving her the opportunity to leave. So like, at that same time, I feel like he's giving his fans the chance to leave if they don't like what they're hearing as well. The next song, No Mistakes, has that older Kanye sound to it, more like it sounds like it could have been off of Graduation. This song is pretty good. It has great vocal performances, great vocal harmonies, and it has a nice piano track going on in the background as well. We get Kanye commenting on the current beef between Drake and Pusha T. We can see that like he's not really on one side of the argument. He's very much arguing both sides. At a point of time, he says that he likes Drake, but at the same time, he's telling Drake to calm down because he's too light-skinned. And in a sense, this is a great way to tie in with the theme of the album of him being bipolar, having these ups and down moments, or like being on one side of the argument versus the other. I feel like this ties very well together with the concept. The one thing I don't care for this song is the fact that Kanye thinks because he's too rich, he shouldn't have to comment on a certain situation, and that's just a terrible mindset to have, really. If everyone were to do that in the world, where would we be? Getting closer towards the end of this record, we get a song, Ghost Town, which is highlighting the pain of what one can go through during a breakup of a relationship. And some people, they do inflict pain on themselves to try to understand or try to find that kind of sense of feeling again. Kanye here is exploring the idea of the duality of sadness and happiness. And yes, he does say that breaking up in a relationship can be a sad thing, but Kanye also illustrates that the upside of breaking up is the fact that you are free. Echoing back to the first track on this album, Kanye is very much pushing forward the idea of self-love and acceptance, and he beautifully tackles it in his lyrics. The kind of vibe I'm getting with Ghost Town, it has that beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy kind of sound to it. You get these ascending, distorted guitars and keyboard lines that remind me of a song like Devil in a New Dress or Gorgeous off of that previous album by Kanye. And this song does get a lot better by the end when we get that feature from 070 Shake, where she does have some catchy melody in the song On top of the beat and bass, we do get that typical great futuristic, always ahead of its time production from Kanye. The final track on this album is very much my favorite. It's called Violent Crimes. We get this very beautiful, sparse, dreamy keyboard and twinkling piano all the way throughout. It flawlessly lulls the listener into the mood that Kanye is intending for it to put us in. The instrumentals here are amazing. They're the most hypnotic on the album by far. Very entrancing. Lyrically, this song focuses on Kanye raising his daughters in the 21st century, and how when he became a father, there was this switch in his mind that kind of happened, where instead of trying to conquer women, he feels like he has the duty and responsibility to protect them. Yes, this song does show how Kanye has acquired vital knowledge that can be applied to the situation of raising daughters, but I feel like I can't get behind the message fully, because it very much paints that picture that there's only two ways to view this. Either your daughter is innocent and pure and can't do anything wrong, or she's like this over glorified sex god that like has no power in any of her relationships. But like the rest of the album, Kanye is really just using his spotlight, I feel, just to put more scrutiny on himself, his opinions, have people observe him more closely or criticize him. Love him or hate him, Kanye does find a way to capture an audience, and he does make us take sides, very much like the political state of America right now. And for better or for worse, the art form that Kanye has put out with Ye is great at giving that frame of mind that Kanye has at this current moment. The upside for this album for me, hands down, has got to be the hypnotic, lush, and minimal production, and how Kanye can effortlessly switch between the two. The lyrics are hit or miss, with some cheesy bars in there, of course. Recently with Kanye, he has been taking less care in his lyrics, I find. He's not trying to be as much of a perfectionist as he used to be. So yeah, Ye is very much a slower, more mellow pace and mood of an album that I was really expecting to be more bombastic. I was really anticipating an album that was going to talk a little bit more about the political landscape of America, more about the reasons why he is acting the way he is. But we get that typical Kanye response where he just says he's acting the way he is because you don't understand me. So overall, this album, I would say, is not the best Kanye album by any means, but at the same time, it's not the worst Kanye album I've heard either. It is hit or miss with its features on this album, but it makes up for it in the instrumental department for sure. It has very clean and mesmerizing production value. On top of the great production, certain songs on this are very reminiscent of Kanye's past albums, and I feel like he does a good job of mixing his styles and pushing a new sound, as he does on every single album that he puts out. Altogether, I'd say this album is definitely something that I would recommend more for a long-time Kanye fan, and if you're not really into him, yeah, it's only 24 minutes of your time, but like it's really going to be up to you if you want to listen to Kanye for that long. Yeah, for rating this album, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Not my favorite Kanye album by any means, but yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking. Sound off down below in the comments. Subscribe, like, do all those things that make YouTubers so happy. Yeah, my name's Ryan from True North Reviews, and as always, have a rockin' day. Thanks for watching.